Hello everyone, this is Rachna from MSc Data Science. So I'm here to present you about my major project titled Machine Learning and Deep Learning Approaches for Cybersecurity. So during this presentation, I'll try my level best to provide you with the concept comprehensive understanding of cybersecurity and what does machine learning and deep learning approaches bring that change in the cybersecurity field. So, without further ado, let's start the presentation. So, before going to the presentation, I just want you to just have a gist about what cybersecurity actually means. So, cybersecurity, according to me, is a field where it provides the security for the digital data, whatever the data might be, even though it is connected to the internet or not connected to the internet, it will provide the security so that your data, which is digitalized, is not breached or used authentically. So, uh, the definition of cybersecurity actually is cybersecurity refers to a practice of protecting computer system, networks, and data from the unauthorized accesses, theft, damage, or disruption. So it involves various methods and technologies to ensure the confidentiality, integrity, and the availability of internet in the digital realm. So the cybersecurity basically by using deep learning and machine learning things techniques, we can actually fine tune the intrusion detection system. So I'll talk about intrusion detection system in the further process of the video. So this is the abstract of the project. Basically, this project is based on the cybersecurity. So obviously, the users in the internet are increasing day by day. The cyber attacks have been also increased day by day. Whatever the just the world revolve around internet these days. So the cyber attacks are also getting more and more uh, dangerous, as it is getting very dangerous that your privacy is being leaked, your privacy is not being uh, captured anymore. So as this result, the intrusion detection system is being developed using the AI subfields. Intrusion detection system is nothing but if there is any intruder or the unauthorized user for your there's an authorized user for your system that is not authorized, or he's not authorized to do any modification, even then he's doing the modification, then he's called an intruder, basically a thief. He's basically doing it is nothing like if your home is being theft, it is nothing but a thief comes to your home, takes all your belongings which is not supposed to take. So this intruder is also works the same in the digital realm. That is, he'll come and he'll breach the data, or he'll not give the access to your data. He'll completely have the hold of all your private data. So these artificial intelligence subfields are nothing but machine learning and deep learning. So this is the introduction, wherein I've already told you the increase in internet is transforming everyone's life. You order something, you get it in 2 minutes. You're uploading your photos on the online platforms. You're giving access to many things. You just click accept for any permission that it asks for your when you're downloading an application in your mobile phone or laptop or any other digital uh, gadgets. So when you give an accept, that is when you give that permission for them to come into your system, they'll have the access of all your private data. So when you're giving the access to something, just read it. I mean, just learn what it is actually asking. So to save yourself from this cyber attacks, there are many ways that the website provides. That is multiple authentication steps, that is two-time verifications, and providing your website with a strong password and keep changing your pass for a month or two. So there are many other ways for you to protect from the cyber attacks. So these are I've actually taken 4 papers as a base papers. So these are the literature surveys. And actually the existing system for the cyber security, that is intrusion detection system, is actually not able to handle that complexity of the data, that because the internet users have been increasing a lot lately. We need something that learns from the data, like it doesn't need any human intervention to actually manually type something. So for the automation and learning, we have created this proposed system, which uses machine learning and deep learning approaches, so that when you keep the live streaming of the data, it will learn by itself, doesn't need any human intervention in it. So these are the algorithms I've used. For machine learning, I've used support vector machine, a random forest, voting classifier, decision tree, KNN, Navy Base, LDA, logistic regression, K-means. And for deep learning, I've used convolution neural network, CNN plus LSTM, and then autoencoders. So here is how I've developed my model. That is, I've imported the packages that are required. I've explored the data set. Actually, the data set I've taken is from Kaggle. So that is IDS anomaly data. And then I've pre-processed the data. And then I've visualized it enough to learn enough about data, what it actually is. And then I've done the feature selection. For machine learning, I've used principal component analysis. And for deep learning, I've used actually for autoencoders, I've used SMART, which is actually my data was unbalanced. So I used SMART oversampling techniques. And then I've split the data into training and testing. I've put the ratio of 80 and 20. So, and then I've trained the model, and then I've used voting classifier to build the model, as it has better accuracy than any other algorithms. And then I've used a Flask framework with SQLite to build my front end. And then if the user gives the feature values, the input is taken and processed, and then you'll get the prediction. So this is my system architecture for machine learning, and this is my system architecture for deep learning, wherein in machine learning, it first actually when you give the input, it will do the feature extraction, and then classification is done, and then the output is produced. Wherein for the input in deep learning, the input is taken, it is added in the neural network, and it is trained, and then the output is produced. So this is the data flow diagram. So let's jump to the code and the output. So this is the code of the backend. I've done the code in the Jupyter. So this is I've firstly included all the packages I need, all the modules I need, and then I've included the data as I've already told you. And then all I've basically I have 1 lakh records, and like I I have 70 or 80 features, from which this is my output label, wherein I have Benin, bot, FTP brute force, SSH brute force, and DOS attacks. Wherein Benin says that your system is safe, you need not worry. Wherein bot, FTP, SSH, and DOS are the cyber attacks, different types of cyber attacks. So this is the visualization for the output. A lot of them were Benin, but some of them were cyber attacks actually. So I've done the pre-processing, and this is the info. I have 73 labels, including the output label. And then I've done the feature selection using PC. I've already told you, and I've finally got my selected features uh, that are basically I have 13 selected features, including the output column. If not for the only input, I have only 12 input features. So I have 1 lakh records, I've already told you. And then I've split it into test and train data, which is 80 and 20. Then the first algorithm I trained my model was with support vector machine, which has about 34% of accuracy, which is not that great. And then I've trained it with random forest, which has 98.2. And then I have trained it with voting classifier algorithm, which has 98.1, which is less, but I've taken voting classifier because of its advantages more than random forest. Decision tree, I've got 98.0. I've next trained it with KNN. I've got 98 as well. I've trained it with Navy base. I've got 35%. With LDA, I've got 56. For logistic regression, I've got 41%. And then all the comparison of machine learning algorithm, I feel KNN, decision tree, voting classifier, and random forest has the highest accuracy of 98. Rather, I selected voting classifier as it takes the prediction of multiple algorithms and uses all its advantages to predict the correct output. So now I've used deep learning algorithms. Deep learning, I've used three algorithms, which is CNN plus LSTM, and then and autoencoders. And then this is the accuracy comparison of the deep learning algorithms. Wherein I got highest accuracy for CNN plus LSTM, which is more less than voting classifiers of machine learning. So I've built the model using voting classifiers. So when we jump here to the front end screen, so first I have 12 features I've told you. So let's give the input. So this is a flow of what the flow is like. It is forward flow or the backward flow, how the flow is happening. I mean, when you give the input, what is the flow that you're getting your output. So let's give some inputs. And then forward is nothing but what you are giving, what you're giving it to the system. So I'm giving max value and the tot value and the mean value. And then backward is what you're getting from the system. So basically this inputs mean in the in simple words is nothing but when you basically ask the machine to give you 4 GB of data and it is giving you 10 GB of data, or when you're asking the system to give you 2 GB of data and it is giving you 1 GB of data. So there's some glitch in the system. So that is when the hacker sits in your system and manipulates the data. So backward standard deviation, this is statistically uploaded. This will basically be in the backends of the system. So this is the forward per seconds. How much, like what is the time that you got, like when you ask the system at what time it is giving you back. And then this is the idle of how much time your system was idle and the max idle value. And then when you submit it, it will process and it will give you an output that is Benin, wherein my system is not prone to any kind of cyber attacks. It is safe as of now. So back to the presentation. um, this is the output screen. I've already told you, I've already shown also. And then output, and then here is where you give the user input, and these are the three types of outputs I've just displayed here. And then these are my references. Finally, the conclusion and the future scope. Obviously there's no chance that the internet is going to uh, go or there is any kind of uh, time that internet is not used. It is being used 24/7 by some or the other person. So not only internet but also the digital gadgets is being used vastly these days. So to protect your data, to protect your privacy, cyber security is very very important. And by using deep learning and machine learning algorithm, it means you're having more and more securing security. So I hope you have understood the my project, and thank you. This is my project.